Hi, good day. This is Miss LM and we're back again for another math video, and today we're going to talk about the if-then statements or the conditional statements. So in this video, we're going to learn what conditional statements are and also how to identify the hypothesis and conclusion among the given statements. But before that, let us have this activity first. Judge us. Tell whether the second statement is valid consequence of the first statement. Number 1. Students who are good in mathematics are smart. Second statement is, Enchong is smart, then he is good in mathematics. Compared to our first statement, the second statement is invalid. Okay? So, because hindi naman sinabi na si Enchong ay good in mathematics, so we cannot consider him as smart from this example only. Okay? Number 2, young actresses are health conscious. Kim is a young actress, then she is health conscious. So, for this second example, the answer is valid. So, we can say that Kim is a young actress, therefore, she is a health conscious. Next, number 3. If it rains, then the sports fest will be cancelled. It rains, therefore, the sports will be cancelled. The answer is valid. Okay? Since umulan na nga, hindi na nga po matutuloy yung ating sports or sports fest. Number 4. If the lines are parallel, they do not intersect. Line X and Y do not intersect. Therefore, they are parallel. So, again, based from our first statement, we can say that the second statement is invalid. Di naman sinabi na ang X and Y ay parallel, di ba? Ang binanggit, they did not intersect. So, this second statement is invalid. Now, what are the if-then or conditional statements? So, they are formed by joining two clauses, the if clause and the then clause. The if clause is denoted by the variable P, and this is known to be the hypothesis. Then, the then clause, which is denoted by the variable Q, ito naman po yung conclusion. Karaniwan po natin siyang makikita in this form. If P, then Q. Or in this form, in symbol, P implies Q. So, meron tayong arrow na nakaturo dun sa Q. P implies Q is how we read this. Hypothesis P can be found right after the word if. So, ang clue word natin para makita natin ang hypothesis ay ang word na if because ang hypothesis ay nasa if clause. Then, conclusion Q can be found right after the word then. Again, ang clue word po natin for conclusion is the word then because the then clause, nandun po yung ating conclusion. Another form of our if-then statements or conditional statements are in this way. So, if P, Q. So, nawala lang po yung then. Another is Q if P. So, kasunod pa rin ng if yung ating hypothesis. We also have P implies Q. Again, ito po yung ating symbol. And also P only if Q. This differs from Q if P. Pag meron po tayong only if, nasa unahan pa rin yung ating hypothesis followed by the conclusion. So, magkaiba po sila ha. Tingnan pong maigi. The simple flow of reasoning from the if clause to then clause is called simple implication. So, again, conditional statements can be formed as if and then statements. So, now let's have some of the examples. Example number 1, if it is noon in Florida, then it is 9 a.m. in California. What will be our hypothesis? Again, the clue word for hypothesis is the if word. The hypothesis follows the if word. So, hypothesis is it is noon in Florida. And then for the conclusion, ang clue word natin ay yung then. So, yun naman pong kasunod ng word na then, yung ating conclusion. It is 9 a.m. in California. Next, if the weather is warm, then we should go swimming. Again, hypothesis is the clause right after the word if. So, the weather is warm. Conclusion, what will be our conclusion for our second example? Then we should go swimming. So, eliminate lang natin yung then. We have our conclusion as we should go swimming. Number 3. The angle is obtuse if it measures more than 90 degrees. Ayun yung if. Wala naman pong only if, di ba? If lang. So, it means, ito po yung ating hypothesis. And we can write it as an angle measures more than 90 degrees or the angle measures more than 90 degrees. Then for the conclusion, ito po siya. The angle is obtuse or it is an obtuse angle. Next, number 4. If an integer is divisible by 5, the last digit must be 0 or 5. So, meron tayong if na word. Again, nandun po yung ating hypothesis. Yung clause natin for the hypothesis is an integer is divisible by 5 or the integer is divisible by 5. The conclusion, wala tayong word na then, pero ito po yung ating masasabing conclusion. The last digit must be 0 or 5. So, yun po yung ating isusulat sa ating conclusion. Number 5. If the triangle is equilateral, it is equiangular. Again, meron lang tayong if na wala si then, pero alam pa rin natin si hypothesis kasi si hypothesis po is the clause follows the if word. So, the triangle is equilateral. Then, for the conclusion, we can say that it is equiangular or the triangle is equiangular. Then, for number 6, last example, if 3x is equals to 24, then x is equals to 8. So, hypothesis, again, it is the clause that follows the if word. So, 3x is equals to 24. Then, for our conclusion, we have the clause that comes after the word then. So, we have x is equals to 8. So, these are the some of the examples of conditional statements in the if-then form. Now, let us have another information about conditional statements. It says that conditional statements has a truth value of true or false. A conditional statement to be true shows that when hypothesis is true, the conclusion is also true. Again, masasabi lang natin na ang conditional statement natin ay true kapag ang hypothesis at conclusion ay parehong true. And kailan naman magiging false ang ating conditional statement? We have to provide a counterexample. So, kailangan nating mag-isip ng example na makakapagpa-false dun sa ating conditional statement. So, paano po yun? So, you need to have a counterexample where hypothesis is true but the conclusion is false. So, yung conclusion, hahanapan natin ng another example kung saan magiging false na yung ating statement. So, let's have some examples. Number 1, if 3x is equals to 24, then x is equals to 8. So, again, ang ating hypothesis is 3x is equals to 24. Ang ating conclusion is x is equals to 8. So, kung titingnan natin maigi, if x daw ay equals to 8, wala naman po talagang ibang value yung x dito para maging equal siya sa 24. Tama po ba? There is no other value. So, ibig sabihin, for number 1, this conditional statement is true. Kasi po, there is no other value for x na makakapagpa-equal ng 24 kapag multiply kay 3. Only 8. Okay? Number 2. If x squared is equals to 64, then x is equals to 8. This is our hypothesis and this is our conclusion. So, dito tayo mag-iisip ngayon ng pampalit sa x. Kaya lang, meron nga ba? X squared is equals to 64. Is there any other integer na kapag isinubstitute kay x, 64 pa rin ang sagot? So, meron. Ano po? And that is negative 8. So, that means meron na tayong counter-example na hinahanap. Meron tayong pampalit kay x na value na makakapagbigay pa rin ng 64. So, this conditional statement is false. Kasi, again, may iba pang value si x na pwede nating isubstitute para magkaroon tayo ng value na 64 dito. And that's negative 8. Last example, if a figure has 4 equal sides, then it is a square. Ngayon, kayo tatanungin ko, square lang ba ang may 4 equal sides? Siyempre, meron pa tayong rhombus. So, ibig sabihin, number 3 is also a false conditional statement. Why? Because meron po tayong rhombus na meron ding 4 equal sides. So, that's how we can determine whether the conditional statement is true or false. Kapag meron pa tayong naiisip na counter-example for that statement, that means ang ating pong conditional statement ay false. Pero kapag wala na, pero kung kapag po wala na tayong counter-example na maisip, that means the conditional statement is true. Okay? So, now you can do this task. Identify the hypothesis and conclusion of the given conditional statements. So, you are going to identify the hypothesis and write it. Also, the conclusion. So, here are the 5 items. You can pause this video for a while and then write your answer on your notebook or on your paper. Then we also have here the items 6 to 10. Pause this video for you to answer these items. And that ends our discussion about if-then statements or conditional statements. There will be another discussion about these conditional statements for the other video. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, and do not forget to share and comment down below what do you think about this topic. So that's all for today. Bye-bye!